Hello, this is NUSensei. I'm probably most well known for doing archery tutorials on YouTube. I do, however, sometimes shoot. Crazy, I know. I've been invited to make a video shooting journal as part of the World Archery Shoot Like Me series. Many of you will be aware that this series covers the processes and the focus of professional archers and their shooting. But what about an amateur journeyman such as myself? What do I focus on when I shoot? And more importantly, what do you focus on? Before starting, it's important to go through a warm-up. Many casual recreational archers like myself tend to skip straight to the shooting, and as a consequence, we often aren't ready physically or mentally to go through an entire practice session. So my favorite warm-up tool is a stretching band. I do this to obviously stretch out my muscles and get the feeling of the correct shot process and shot alignment. It does help open up your muscles. I like to go behind the head as well. There's an exercise for this where you get your shoulder alignment correct. So doing this does help in getting you set up for a practice session. Where possible, I like to start my practice sessions with some blank bale shooting. Ideally, this should be a blank target, but if you can't get one of those organized at your shooting range, then have a very large target up close where possible. The idea is that you want a target where you can just shoot at without aiming, because you want to focus on getting the feeling of a good shot process. Basically, get into the mindset of what the shot should feel like. Now, I say from personal experience, my first shot of the day is always garbage. So this exercise is for me to get rid of all the trash, get all the bad shots out of the way. Do it now before you practice, otherwise you will go through the entire practice session shooting like garbage. At this point in your practice, you take a photo of your grouping, post it on your social media, but don't tell people it was 3 meters away. So now we have the target pushed out to 30 meters. This is a rather comfortable practice distance. It's not too far where you are stressing out about trying to hit the target or worry about missing it. At the same time, it's far enough for you to diagnose some of the problems you might have. So the benefit of doing a warm-up process, including stretching and blank bale shooting, is that you enter this part of your practice session try to replicate that good feeling you had at close distance. Because really, if you can shoot well at 5 meters, you can shoot well at 30 meters. If you can shoot well at 30 meters, you can shoot well at 70 meters. It's the same process. There's a lot happening in the shot process. You're worried about things like the sight picture and the string alignment. You're thinking about your shoulder alignment, your expansion, your anchor, your release. But the most important thing is to maintain that process. Make it as smooth as you can. Don't try to hold on too long. Don't try to aim too much. Just let the shot happen. Nobody's 100% perfect. You will have bad shots, but you move on from that. You focus on the next shot. Personally for me, what I focus on is a smooth draw, keeping the shoulders down, anchoring tightly and expanding and releasing in a fluid motion. So I tend to start a little high. I like to keep the arrow line above my shoulders. That way, when it comes to full draw, my shoulders are naturally in line. It's also important to note here that if you have a bad process where you might go through the clicker prematurely, or it doesn't feel right, or you can't get through, just let it down. It's one of the hardest things for an archer is to recognize that the shot is bad, so you restart the process. There's no point in forcing yourself to shoot bad shots. Just restart. You have plenty of time in practice. Might be different in competition, but in practice you've got all the time in the world. So just relax, calm down, and execute the shot the way you think it should be done. When you're shooting at a longer distance, remember the same rules apply. It's not about trying to be too precise on target, but it's about following the same process as you would at close distance. Your sight setting might be different, or your point of reference might be different, but the way you shoot should still be the same. For many people, shooting longer distances, especially for the first time, it can be quite nerve-wracking. Your heart starts pumping, you start worrying about whether your arrows will miss. But a lot of archery is about trust. think the most important thing is positive self-talk. It's very easy to become pessimistic or destructive in your mindset, but it's extremely important to tell yourself that you did it right, something felt good about it. Especially coming from a background of anxiety and depression, it's just very easy to get into that self-destructive mentality. So tell yourself you did it well. Positive self-talk, get pumped up, get fired up about what you did really well, what you really enjoyed. So here we are at the end of our practice session. It's important to leave on a high. If you've had a good practice session and you've been shooting well, then you want to reinforce that good feeling. If you've had a bad practice session, you want to get rid of that bad feeling and remember what it should feel like. The key is to be positive, feeling good when you go in and feeling good when you go out. So that's the end of my practice session. I felt really good about it today. It was a nice long session, nice coming out here, having a shot, stretching out, feeling strong, feeling good. That's really what it's about. So hopefully you got something out of this shooting journal. If you want to see what the professionals do, people actually know how to shoot, then I do recommend the World Archery Shoot Like Me series. Otherwise, thank you all for watching. I'm NUSensei. As always, shoot straight and aim for your best.